delivered by 9 Powered. With no further ado, I'll pass it over to Remy Baker, who is the Director of Innovation at Powered. Thanks very much, team.
Awesome. Thanks, Beck. So lovely to meet everyone if I haven't met you before. As Beck said, I'm going to be talking through one of our research pieces today, but I wanted to give a little bit of an overview of Big Ideas Delivered, which you'll be seeing more of in the new year. Obviously, it is lunchtime, so I hope everyone's enjoying some lunch while they're listening in. But if you have any questions as you go, please just feel free to jump in with a question or put it in the chat. Nothing more tedious than just listening to me talk for 45 minutes. So love to have a bit of conversation and interaction as we go through as well. So Big Ideas Delivered. Obviously, Nine have rolled out the Big Ideas store for a number of years now. This year, we're actually taking it to agency groups. So we'll be rolling it out across the Indies in the new year. And it's a collection of different research pieces, panels with experts, and talent sessions that we'll be running as well. So this year we have 4 brand new research pieces that we'll be sharing. So there will be more content to come. So we're just looking at one of these today, but we do have 4 pieces. The first one, The Great Australian Compromise, which is all about the real estate market and property right now. So not just relevant for real estate brands, but kind of a bit of a cultural pulse of where we are from an economy standpoint, and what the property market is looking like and what the implications and opportunities are for brands in that space. Super consumers, so a topic that we've delved into for a few years now, so looking at the 50 to 64 age group. And this piece is really about future forecasting and forecasting what the next generation of super consumers are going to look like and evolve into, and the different areas and passion points that they're really driving progress in. And then sustainability, the climate reset. This is all about kind of our relationship with sustainability, how we're tracking against our sustainability goals as a nation, and what brands are doing in this space to really drive the agenda forward. What we're going to talk about today is reimagining retail. So this is just one of these 4 pieces, but we're going to take a little bit of a deep dive into the retail landscape. So obviously, it has been a bit of an unpredictable year, and there has been quite a bit of change to consumer expectations in this space. So what we're going to do is just a bit of context setting to start with, and then we'll delve into 4 different trends that we're really seeing evolving over this year and next year. So would be remiss of us not to start with the elephant in the room, which is obviously 2024 has been a bit of a tough year for retail. Rising inflation, interest rates, cost of living concerns has been a bit of a lethal combination for retail as well. So we're still seeing a little bit of that lag from pandemic-related supply chain disruptions as well. And what that's meant is that actually over the course of this year, non-discretionary spending has risen 9.2%, while discretionary spending has barely increased. So it's risen 0.3%, so it's relatively flat. So what we're seeing is consumers are really spending their money on kind of necessities, and actually having to pare back on other purchases to make ends meet. So it has meant that they have had to make a few trade-offs in their purchasing habits, and that can be kind of switching to different brands or looking for lower priced alternatives, and essentially just being a little bit more price sensitive. So we call this the Temu effect. So obviously this was kind of the first year that we had kind of Temu hit the Australian market. And essentially we call it the Temu effect because it's really changing consumer expectations. So when we talk about retail, we've seen consumers become much more demanding in this space. They expect more of brands, they're more vocal than ever before, and they're looking for all 3 of these elements without compromise. So they're looking at price, they want their items for cheaper, but quality, they still want their quality to be retained, and if anything, they want better quality, and speed, they want it more immediately. So all 3 of these elements are really impacting kind of their expectations of brands and the demands that they have. So we have seen, lower priced alternatives come into the market like Temu. We've seen impacts on the type of quality that consumers expect. And we've seen things like, you know, Milk Run, where we're looking at 20-minute grocery delivery, really impact actually the amount of time consumers expect for these items to be delivered to them and the immediacy of being able to get these. So what this piece really looks at is what these shifting expectations mean for marketers and brands. So how do we respond to them? What does it mean for different areas of retail business? And therefore, what are the opportunities? So what we're going to look at today is 4 key trends. So we're going to start by delving into e-com. So the e-commerce evolution, which really looks at actually changing relationships with e-com, and how brands can be more tailored and personalized along that journey. Blurred lines, which looks at consumer relationships with the whole channel ecosystem. So, you know, how people are kind of continuously in a shopping mindset. So it's now no longer as simple as being in market or out of market. We're kind of always open to inspiration, and to be convinced, I guess, to make a purchase. The in-store drawer, which essentially looks at our changing relationship with physical stores. So given that we are kind of shopping at any time, any moment, wherever we are, what does that mean for the motivation that we have to go in store? So if we're not actively going in to purchase products, you know, we're looking for more entertainment for the in-store experience. It's becoming more of a pastime for us to go shopping. That really changes, you know, how brands show up in that space. And then finally looking at loyalty, and loyalty's next frontier. So what's our relationship look like with loyalty programs? We know that there's been an increase in loyalty program usage over the last year, whilst people are more price sensitive. But loyalty goes beyond just price alone. It obviously impacts experience. It's about offering unique value to consumers. So what does that look like, and how can brands leverage that as well? So we'll kick off with e-com. We know obviously this is a huge space of growth, so don't want to lecture you guys on this. You're obviously seeing it day to day, but you know that the rising appetite for online shopping is continuing. More choices available for consumers online, more opportunities to compare prices, experiences, reviews, and make comparisons through social media as well. So it's inevitable that consumers are more discerning in this space, and they are demanding more as well. So e-com has grown rapidly, and it continues to rise as well. So this year we've seen spending expected to reach over $32 billion in Australia from an e-com perspective, and we're on track to be spending one in every 3 retail dollars in e-com by 2033. So this isn't slowing down. We know that the immediacy and the just ease of online shopping is very much kind of where consumers are really spending their time. But what that means is that relationship with shopping has changed on these platforms. So, you know, social media, shoppable media, it's all played a really critical role in the compression of the traditional marketing funnel, where the points of inspiration and purchase have really converged. So in this space, it's all about speed, and more specifically, the speed from getting from inspiration to purchase as quickly as possible. So this kind of term, compressed commerce, is relatively new, but it really demonstrates kind of the relationship people have with the shopping journey online, and why actually brands do need to play more of a role in the inspiration phase, as opposed to being in that transactional shopping phase as well. So obviously, if you can kind of grab the consumer further up that funnel in the inspiration phase, you have a greater chance of ensuring they convert and purchase when they go down the line as well. And we know 55% of Australian online shoppers want to get from inspiration to purchase as quickly as possible. So they want ease, they want efficiency in this journey, and they want you to help them navigate through the shopping journey online. What that means is that they're looking for more personalized products in this space. So obviously being able to find what they want quickly and easily is really important. So what we're seeing is that actually 64% of Australian consumers expect more personalized experiences as a standard of service from the brands that they're interacting with. So they want brands to be able to serve them the right product at the right time, and essentially to make it as easy as possible for them. Don't make them work too hard to interact with your brand and make that purchase. So they want personalized recommendations, personalized offers, and communications that are really tailored to their preferences. And it wouldn't be kind of an insights and trends piece without the mention of AI. But we're really seeing AI help facilitate this from a brand perspective. So AI really helping lead discovery in providing those contextualized recommendations and advice to consumers as well. So Zalando is a great example of this. They're a German online fashion retailer. And they essentially help customers navigate their extensive inventory through generative AI-based search. So it's kind of like a ChatGPT powered fashion assistant, which provides really contextual recommendations. So rather than searching for an individual item like a summer dress, consumers can actually search based on their need. So for example, I'm attending a July wedding in Santorini. I need an outfit. And then you interact with the personalized kind of stylist to help you find the right solution. So it aggregates lots of different recommended products rather than searching individually, and helps you kind of create your capsule or your wardrobe for that particular occasion. So we're not just looking at it as going, I'm searching for a dress. I'm actually searching for an outfit for this event, and I want the matching bag, I want the shoes, I want different colorways, for example, and it's really helping provide inspiration, but in a very shoppable environment. And this extends to other categories as well. So beauty are really kind of leading the way in terms of individualizing recommendations using AI. So L'Oreal's Beauty Genius is a great example of this. So essentially it kind of combines a chatbot with diagnostic facilities to provide you with individualized recommendations based on your skin. So not just kind of the color of your skin, what colors suit you, what kind of products suit you, a real kind of in-depth analysis of your skin type, and really helps you to find the right products. So this is kind of quite unique from a L'Oreal perspective, but when I actually went back to the UK earlier this year and I went in store at Boots, which is one of the biggest beauty retailers, Clinique actually had at their beauty stand an AI discovery beauty analyst, which was essentially an iPad where you could take a picture of your face and it would give you a detailed breakdown of all of the different areas. So under eye bags, dry skin, UV damage, and essentially would give you kind of a recommendation based on your skin analysis of products that would be most relevant for your skin type. Which was really cool, actually. Like I'd never seen that at point of sale before, but this kind of technology is going beyond kind of just sitting on my phone, but actually into that retail in-store environment as well. And again, from the fashion world, this kind of comes, that level of individualization comes through across lots of different categories. So obviously, previously in this space, we've seen things like virtual influencers or models being used by the likes of Levi's, or we've seen kind of models of various sizes showcasing the products. What we're seeing now is actually products that are tailored to your unique body shape. And that's why AI is so valuable and helpful in this space, because it actually allows that level of personalization. So this is an example from Balmain, which was delivered in partnership with Bods. So Balmain are an LA-based tech startup, and Bods are a fashion retailer. And what they've done is they've developed computer game-like avatars that allow you to virtually try on clothes that mimic the way those clothes drape and fall on your own body. So you essentially upload a series of photos of yourself along with your measurements, and it shows all of the different items of clothing, how they would look on your specific body type. So it really allows you to more accurately kind of see whether those products are going to suit you, whether they're going to fit in the right way, rather than just showing them on a generic model or a model that is your size, but potentially not your body shape as well. So it really helps you visualize what those products are going to look like in real life, beyond just seeing them on the screen. And there's obviously a lot of ways that we can personalize our comms in this space when it comes to retail environments. So, more broadly, I think we've previously, targeted demos, or we've specifically targeted from a location standpoint to stores or context, but we can really start to get more granular with the different segments, with the level of intention that that audience has as well, along with like understanding their individual needs. Is kind of the next layer to that, because I think for a long time as an industry we've talked about personalization, but we've really been delivering tailored comms, not personalization, whereas we are getting to that level now of granularity where we're able to understand different consumer behaviors and their intention and relationship to that product and category, and we're able to help personalize that for them to the next level. But what that means is that obviously the more personalized those comms become, the more data consumers are expected to hand over, right? So we're seeing kind of that relationship and that value exchange start to deepen. So if I want to be able to see those particular clothes on my body shape, I have to hand over access to my measurements or to my photos. And as a consumer, I have to decide whether I'm comfortable to do that as well, whether I'm comfortable with sharing that level of data and information, whether I trust the brand that I'm sharing that information with, and whether that transfer of information is really secure as well. So one of the conversations we've had in this space is the value of digital wallets. Is there a point in the future where we're going to have our own decentralized wallet that houses our measurements that we grant brands access to, for example? And I think this is really important because if we're expecting consumers to hand over more data, we obviously have to be able to build up that trust and security with them as well. And they have to know that data is secure, because ultimately, they're in a position where actually we're now kind of more skeptical than ever with handing over that data, especially when it comes to e-com, because we've seen this huge rise in online scams. And it's made people feel really hesitant about who they shop with, whether they're viable retailers, whether they're going to misuse their information that they're providing as well. So with this huge increase in online scams comes a level of skepticism from consumers and a hesitancy to be able to want to provide that level of information as well. So we as brands have to be able to build up that trust and reassurance, and use that data in the right way that provides the most value for the consumer in this space. So what does that all mean when it comes to e-commerce? So first and foremost, like, convenience is really at the heart of it when it comes to the e-commerce experience. So it's all about saving consumers time, providing ease, and giving them a really frictionless end-to-end experience. So inspiring them all the way through to actually facilitating that sale. The second area for brands to focus on is curation. Think about actually how do we use AI and tech to help actually provide that experience and to make it feel curated and personalized for individuals. So making that product discovery really easy, providing them with the right recommendations based on their need, really understanding kind of their relationship to that category and being able to deliver on it is important. And then finally, credibility. So if we're expecting to be able to deliver this to consumers, we have to build up that level of trust, that security, and give them the peace of mind that their transactions are going to be secure in this space, and any data they provide is secure and is trusted and is being used in the right and ethical way as well. So we know when it comes to e-com, shoppers are very quick to look elsewhere if a brand fails to meet any of these expectations. So how can we really deliver convenience in a curated way and build that credibility so that we are the trusted partner for them? So the second trend we're going to talk about is blurred lines. So when it comes to kind of the shopping environment, most brands obviously have physical stores, they have brand websites, social media, EDMs, membership programs, partnerships, affiliates, and lots of other channels that they use to help facilitate that journey. And what we're seeing more and more is kind of that desire for all of those elements to be really connected and seamless for consumers. So 1 in 2 Australians really want a seamless experience across all channels when it comes to retail, and that increases exponentially amongst younger generations. So 63% for Generation X, Y, and Z of Australians really want to make sure that they're actually experiencing a brand in a really unified and consistent way, regardless of what channel they're connecting with that brand on. So thinking, how do we bring those experiences together and make them more connected across lots of different touch points as well. And actually a lot of brands aren't necessarily doing this well. So it kind of feels a little bit like an omni-channel strategy is a bit of a no-brainer. But brands do quite often still operate in silos in this space. And actually only 27% of Australian retailers are prioritizing omni-channel data integration, and only 14% are investing in an omni-channel strategy. So it's actually less than you think, potentially. So it's really important that we're actually focusing on really looking at the entire experience and better connecting all of those channels. And as I said before, this is important because there's no real thing as the shopping mindset anymore, or that linear shopping journey. So, going from I'm out of market to suddenly I'm in market isn't as simple as it used to be. So I use the example of, I went away for a weekend with some friends. I went to the Airbnb. I saw a great sofa in the Airbnb that I really loved. I actually used Google's new feature, which is circle to search, to actually take a photo, circle that sofa, and found that it was a sofa available on Freedom. Now, I didn't buy the sofa because it was $4,000 and I wasn't in the market for a sofa. But that could very easily have been a shopping opportunity for me that isn't necessarily in a retail store or me sat actively browsing the Freedom website. So there's now more opportunities than ever before for us to actually inspire people and kind of bring them into that shopping mindset, or speak to them when they're open to it. So things like Google's Circle to Search and Google Lens are great examples of actually where, there's an opportunity for people to actively purchase products outside of those environments. So really thinking about life as more of a shoppable experience, and how we can actually connect to people in the right moments, as opposed to simply thinking of it as individual channels in isolation. And that's really led to kind of all of these different touch points proliferating, and in some cases actually converging and coming closer together, and actually really kind of looking at how digital technology is reinventing the in-store experience, or how digital experiences are being influenced by physical stores as well. So we're really starting to see like this messy middle of retail, where all of these different elements are combining, and actually, someone could be out shopping in a physical store, but using AR or a digital showroom, for example, or they're actively going in store to see a product, but then they're going away and shopping for that product online, or checking reviews, for example. So an example of this in action is an Amazon style showroom store in the US. So they've really kind of started to bring the digital experience into the physical store. So essentially within this store environment, they have only one item of one piece of each item on show in store. And essentially, as you go around the store, you scan the item and the size that you need, and then your fitting room is all curated for you. So essentially, as you go around, you're not picking up items to go in, you're selecting the different size and the item, and it's all curated for you, which obviously then also makes it easier when you go through to purchase if you like any of those items too. Another example of this is smart carts. So you may have seen actually recently that Coles are trialing this in Australia. But Instacart is a company who are really focused on launching this new range of AI-powered smart carts, which essentially allow consumers to not only monitor their spending as they go around the store. So, if you have a set budget in mind, you can set that budget on the smart card so that you don't exceed your budget. You can keep track of the cost of any items that you put into your cart, so you're easily able to budget as you go around. You receive tailored promotions. You actually connect the smart cart through to your loyalty program. So given it's connected to your loyalty program, if you get any exclusive promotions through your loyalty program, it already automatically applies those as well. So it really helps you to, stay on track of finances, but also connect better to your loyalty program so that you're continuing to receive points and exclusive offers as well. So this is something that is being rolled out as a trial across Australia, but a great way just to help people keep track as they're going around the store and actually think about how that digital experience is really enhancing the physical experience in that instance as well. And on the flip side, we've also seen physical purchases be brought through to the virtual world. So obviously Nike Land and on Roblox is a little bit old now, but it was a great example of how actually, Nike created a physical environment in the Roblox ecosystem. But not only was there, a virtual world for people to be able to explore and games for them to be able to play, there was actually a store where people could make purchases of physical items. So they could try on virtual products and purchase virtual products, but they could also purchase physical sneakers and have them sent to their address as well. So, and again, another route to retail, which is bringing those physical purchases to a new virtual environment and a more gamified environment as well. And we've seen this across a lot of entertainment properties as well, is actually creating shoppable entertainment moments. So we've done pieces where we've worked with Catch and the Block, where ultimately we've created shoppable ads where people can actively go in BVOD and click on the items, and they're able to shop those items as well. Because as you said, people are looking to get inspired at any point, and actually intercepting entertainment moments with retail moments is becoming increasingly popular. And I've actually got a case study. I might not play this one, but if any of you have seen the handshake hunt, it was a Cannes-winning case study, but it's a great example of actually intercepting entertainment moments with a really contextually relevant retail message. So really hoping my video plays here, but we'll give it a go and let me know if there's no sound. Sorry, it's now playing an ad before as well.
No sound so far, Remy.
Yeah, no sound.
Oh, is it working now?
Fights, chaos, and of course, TV ads. But last year, instead of fighting for attention during ad breaks, which most people hate, Mercado Libre, Latin America's #1 e-commerce, decided to place its deals within the content people already love. And to do so, we use the universal symbol of a good deal, which happens to be our logo. This is Handshake Hunt. The hunt started on the world's second biggest TV network, Globo. We analyzed scripts and scenes in their programming, mapping every handshake in advance, and crafted specific discounts for each one. Then every time one popped on the screen, this happened. Handshake on a music show, discount in musical instruments. On the movies, discount on TVs. Here, there, everywhere. In only 1 week, we gave away more than 50 million vouchers, impacting 80 million people. And due to its huge success with the public, when Black Friday was finally over, we surprised everyone by revealing that the hunt was still on. But this time, not only on Globo's programming, but everywhere. Black Friday.
Oh, I thought that was going to happen. That's a great example just of intercepting the moment with a relevant contextual retail deal, and really smartly placed assets as well. So whilst we haven't done anything quite to that extreme, we have done, we did a great partnership with Amazon and the Block last year, where we actually did contextual billboards around the Block content. So dependent on what happened in show, we then served up the relevant product that was available on Amazon, which was directly in relationship to whatever content they just watched as well. So it was a little bit tongue-in-cheek, a little bit fun, but it was very much kind of items aligned to the content that was being watched, and that delivered really, really well for them in market as well. And they're doing it again this year. So when it comes to blurred lines, I guess the main call outs for brands are just consistency. So showing up consistently as a brand across platforms and channels. I think when there's so much fragmentation in this place, it's really easy for brands to create separate different work streams for each of these channels and for them not to feel really connected. Think about actually how you bring those different experiences together. So the physical and the digital world, actually, you know, where can you provide more digitized experiences in store? Where can you provide physical purchase opportunities in the virtual world? Really thinking about kind of mixing those channels up a little bit and actually, I guess, making them more connected as well. And then finally, evolution. So find new ways to bring the shopping experience to consumers. So Nike Land in Roblox was a great example of really kind of entering into the gaming sphere when at a point in time when it hadn't been done, and Roblox probably wasn't the environment that a lot of brands were looking to. There's a real opportunity, I think, to be a bit brave and innovative in this space, because actually, you know, people are constantly in a shopping mindset now. So when they're enjoying content, when they're gaming, there are still opportunities to bring that retail experience to those moments as well. So I might just speed up a little bit, knowing that we haven't got that much time left, but there's 2 more chapters left to go. So the first one is the in-store drawer. So with all of this in mind, kind of retailers really need to rethink and reshape the in-store experience and give consumers a reason to go in store. So if we're not actively going into shop because we can do that from our phones at home, what are we ultimately going in store for? And there are obviously a few reasons, but what we're really seeing brands do in this space is create this form of retailtainment. So actually creating more entertainment environments that give consumers another reason to go in. So actually kind of reshaping that physical store, and actually seeing physical shopping as more of a pastime and more of a hobby for people to participate in. So brands are recreating their in-store experience to bring utility, to bring joy, and to bring theatre to their retail spaces. So really thinking about how they can be playful in this space and provide value beyond just physical items alone. So a few examples of this in action are Lululemon, who brings kind of their ethos of a more healthy lifestyle to life through their physical fitness classes that they host in store. So they actively have classes that are hosted. They have smart screens with instructors on them, and they actively encourage people to come into class to attend things like run clubs. So really leaning into their, you know, active lifestyle that they're ultimately promoting. Things like Pet Barn, who created their own puppy school, which, can I just say, lots of very cute photos of this online of all of the puppies graduating, but essentially training programs that are run by qualified professional dog trainers. And, you know, when you go in store to get your first items to get out your new pet with their collar and lead and everything, you're able to sign up and attend puppy school to help with training them. So again, another reason to more regularly go in store, which is ultimately creating a bit of a deeper relationship between the brand and consumers as well. And this also extends to sustainability initiatives as well. So brands thinking about the longer term life cycle of their products. So Nike created these repair service stores, which were called their longevity. It's called their longevity lab. So it's in London, and it's essentially a store that you can attend and take in your old Nikes to get them repaired and fixed up. So helping people to take care of their items, make them last longer, and giving them kind of more of an opportunity to extend the life cycle of those products. And similarly, Selfridges in the UK did something similar in terms of actually facilitating the second-hand shopping. So with second-hand fashion market expected to nearly double by 2027, they saw an opportunity to help actually facilitate that in store. So they created their version of the stock market, which was essentially where people could take their items to be valued by expert stockbrokers, and they could either arrange for resale or for immediate exchange in store as well. So it was kind of inspired by the London Stock Exchange, but the idea of being able to value your items and then either sell them on or exchange them for a new product gave people, again, another reason to go in store. So when it comes to the in-store drawer, it's really about kind of thinking about what that physical experience is beyond just shopping and items alone. So find ways to entertain people. Think about how you bring that entertainment and you bring the brand ethos to life in that in-store environment. Make it engaging for them. So make it an experience that they want to participate in and that activates your audience to proactively come in once, or if not multiple times. Things like run clubs, things like puppy school, like all of those things encourage repeat attendance to those stores. And then purpose. Think about what your purpose is beyond selling alone. So what do you stand for as a brand? What does your store represent? How do you bring that to life in a more meaningful way? And then finally, loyalty's next frontier. So the complex purchasing journey means retailers do have to work harder than ever before to acquire and retain consumers, particularly with consumer confidence the way it is right now. So obviously driven by a lot of that economic uncertainty, the ever easier online comparison that people can make and instantly switch brands. Brand loyalty is in decline. And actually, in Australia, consumers want brands to do more to keep their loyalty as well, beyond just discounting. So we know that most Australians participate in a loyalty program. So 9 out of 10 Australians participate in one or more loyalty programs. And there was actually an 18% lift in Australians using loyalty programs over the last year. So obviously, with a lot of that context in terms of being quite tough times for people right now, like there's no surprise that a lot of Australians are turning to loyalty programs to help them ease cost pressures. But what we're seeing that ultimately, yes, people are signing up to more loyalty programs, but they're actually more unloyal than ever before. So the chances are you're probably signed up to every loyalty program out there, as opposed to that loyalty program being a sign of your loyalty to that particular brand as well. And there are different ways for brands to drive loyalty beyond saving money alone. So obviously that increase in loyalty program usage has very much been driven by cost savings this year. But what's actually going to encourage consumers to go back to your brand as opposed to using one of your competitors' loyalty programs more long term? Well, think about what you deliver beyond just cost saving alone. So how do you make that experience easier for them? How do you give them access to exclusive experiences? Thinking about loyalty beyond kind of that transactional relationship's really important. And 72% of brands are planning to revamp their existing loyalty program this year. So there's been a big focus on loyalty as an industry, and how do we actually make loyalty stickier for people to ensure that actually, they're actively coming back to the same loyalty program as well. So this is a great example of something that Lloyds Bank delivered in the UK, where they actually helped to consumers to see all of their different loyalty programs in one place and all of the points and the benefits that they'd accumulated as well. So they kind of understood that people were ultimately shopping the market and had access to multiple loyalty programs. And what they did is they actually helped them to see all of their loyalty programs in one place. So if a Lloyd's customer, or they would automatically earn points at partners, And then they could ultimately, if those partners were affiliated with Lloyds Bank, they would be able to pool those points to spend across any of the retailers as well. So it was really kind of thinking about actually how does it bring different brands together and different loyalty schemes and programs for the consumer's benefit as well. And we're seeing that play out across different areas beyond kind of financial institutions as well. So consumers being rewarded for wellness and for healthy lifestyles. So loyalty actually going beyond just transactional to saying, actually, if you want to live a healthier life, we're going to help you by rewarding you for making better decisions and ultimately delivering you better cost savings and better experiences and products if you actively reach your goals in this space as well. And again, AI playing a very important role in powering loyalty programs to provide really personalized and tailored rewards as well. So those rewards actually being delivered based on knowing your relationship to that category and actually making it stickier for you by providing rewards that are more valuable to you as an individual. So you being able to select, you know, what is most valuable to you, and then those rewards being tailored to your needs, really helping kind of make that journey stickier for people. And again, convenience over cost. So sometimes actually it's about providing a more convenient journey for people as a result of being part of that loyalty program. So Hilton Hotels recently revamped their loyalty program, and essentially what it allows you to do is when you arrive, instead of having to queue up and wait to check in, you can do it all straight through the app, and actually the app serves as your door key to your room, so you can go straight through, check in, and go in and access your room without having to wait in a queue or having to talk to different concierges. You're able just to facilitate that process yourself so that you can just make that check-in process easier and more seamless. And subscription services are really redefining the loyalty game as well. So obviously, subscription services allow people to continue to come back to the same brand and develop more of a relationship with that brand over a longer period of time. So we are seeing a lot of brands start up their own subscription services to be able to facilitate that. So from everyday items to actually bigger purchases as well. So this is H&M's own subscription service. So it's called Singular Society, and you ultimately pay a fee to be a member for the year. You're able to access different items of clothing. You can trade those in. You get first access to a lot of their new lines, and you're essentially able to access, you know, different high quality items. If you want to purchase those items long term, you get a slightly discounted rate, and you're able to send those items back and get the next line of fashion items as well. So again, creates that level of deeper relationship where people can continue trading in their items and ultimately get a better experience as a result. So when it comes to loyalty, it's all about kind of leveraging technology to provide personalized loyalty offers and experiences. So thinking about understanding what's valuable to that individual. Experiences, so going beyond kind of price point to think kind of rewards or taking loyalty beyond points, rewards, and financial incentives to think about like the bigger experience and what is valuable. So whether it is ease of check-in experience, for example, that can actually be much more of a loyalty driver than purely a discounted rate. And then innovation in this space. So subscription models, collaborations, partnerships. There's a lot of innovation happening when it comes to loyalty to reinvent what that looks like. So opportunities to rethink the loyalty experience and ultimately find new ways to drive loyalty. So sorry, that was a lot of me talking, but there was essentially 4 things that we talked about today. So the e-com evolution, which is all about moving from tailored and personalized to hyper-personalized. Blurred lines, which was all about kind of thinking about channels in isolation to actually blending those physical and digital experiences. The in-store drawer, which was about moving away from physical stores as just being a point, a place to go and get items, to actually provide more entertainment. And then Loyalty's Next Frontier, which was really about kind of reinventing the loyalty process to think about what you can offer from a loyalty standpoint beyond budget alone. So I guess just a few questions to end on today. Just think about, you know, how can you personalize your e-commerce experience? How can you create new shoppable moments for your brand? How can you turn your physical store into more of an entertaining experience? How can you make your loyalty experience stickier? And ultimately, how will you reimagine your retail experience? Awesome. Thank you so much. Sorry that was a lot of me talking, but if there are any questions, I'm more than happy to take them.
Thank you so much, Remy. Generally, there isn't any questions at the end, but no doubt people will reach out to you directly if there is. Thanks. That was a great, really insightful session. Lots of key takeaways. Members, don't forget we will house this video on our YouTube channel for any of your staff that may want to watch it at the end. Thanks again, Guy, and thank you, Nine, for an amazing partnership this year. Have a great week.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very
Bye.
much. Bye.